Hello, this is James, and today I would like to demonstrate to you on how to replace computer laptop memory and the hard drive. Okay, so the first thing we do is we have a compact laptop here, and for the purpose of this demonstration I will just only be removing the hard drive and memory, then reinstalling right back in their original locations. However, if you would be replacing the memory or upgrading it, you would remove the old memory and install the new memory. The same with the hard drive, and then you would go ahead and reinstall the operating system and go from there. So the first thing we want to do is we want to turn this over. We want to lay it back down. Then we want to remove the battery. Once we have the battery removed, we want to flip it back over, and we want to drain down any residual power that is still left in the system. So we press and hold the power button for about 10 or 15 seconds, and that'll drain the capacitors and any devices or modules on the system board that is harboring any electronic power. Okay, so we can close this back up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this back over, and as you can see, there are two panels. There's one here and there's one here, and there's also one here. What's under this panel is the memory, and what's under this larger panel is the hard drive. So what we will do first is pull out the memory. So we're going to remove these two screws, and lift up this panel, and now we can see two memory modules. To get these out, you have little arms on each side, and you just push them out on both sides, and then the module flips up like this. All you do is slide it out, and you can go ahead and remove the other one, which is right underneath it. If you were replacing or upgrading the memory from, say, 2 gigs to 8, or 2 to 16 if the system supports 8 gig memory modules. But for the purpose of the demonstration, we will just be pulling one out. Now, to go ahead and reinstall this, the new one, you just slide it back into the slot, and then all you have to do is push it down, and these arms will snap right back into place. Afterwards, all you have to do is reinstall this cover, fasten down the two screws that retain it, they don't have to be very tight, they can just be snug. So that is the demonstration on how to replace memory. Now, you may have some laptops that do not have access covers. Then you will be taking the computer apart further. You will be disassembling it further to get to those components. Now, to remove the hard drive, we have removed the outer cover. We have 1, 2, 3 screws here on this particular unit. There is the plug or the socket, and what we will do is we will go ahead and we will remove these screws. After we have removed these screws, what we want to do is slide the hard drive backward. So it can unseat from the socket in the plug. Then we just lift it right out. If I were going to actually be replacing this hard drive, I would have the new one, and then I would put this in here, and you just slide it back into its slot. It will be in all the way when you can align the holes in the hard drive tabs to the screw holes in the machine. Then you just reinstall all of the screws. Then finally, reinstall the access cover. After doing so, you can go ahead and reinstall the battery. Then you would flip it over and you would turn it back on. If you were, as I mentioned earlier, if you would be replacing the hard drive for any reason, then what you would be doing is you would be reinstalling the operating system, all of the programs and drivers and everything else that were originally on the old one, in case the old one had failed and for the reason being you were upgrading, or if you were upgrading to a larger volume. Thank you for watching.